So what we're doing is we have some testimony that we haven't aired yet, and we're going to start with testimony from Natalie Freeman. This is the defendant's stepmother. Direct. Let's watch.
Until how old did you live in the same home?
Until he was, I want to say 15, 16.
After that, did you continue to have a relationship with him over the years?
Yes.
And what is your relationship to Sean Thrailkill? Sean Thrailkill?
He's my grandson.
And Alex Thrailkill?
She's my granddaughter.
Do you know the name Crystal Osinski?
Yes.
Had you ever met her before? Have you ever met her before?
Yes.
During what years did you meet her?
Oh, boy. I would say about 12 years ago was the first time that I met her.
And do you know Martin Osinski?
Yes.
How many times did you meet Martin Osinski?
I would say 5 or 6.
On the date of July 2nd, 2016, did you become aware that Martin Osinski died in the home of your stepson, Darin Thrailkill?
Yes.
Were you there that day?
No.
Do you know anything about what happened in the home that day?
No, just hearsay. I don't know anything because I wasn't there.
So nothing firsthand that you personally observed?
No.
Or that you heard?
No, ma'am.
Prior to the date of July 2nd, 2016, when was the last time you had seen Sean and Alex?
I saw them a couple days before, just for a few minutes. Darin was going to take them fishing, and he stopped by our house. I didn't realize that the kids were even here. And prior to that, it had been a year and a half or 2 years since I had seen them.
So near in time to July 2nd, 2016, Darin had dropped by with the kids. Did that include Martin?
Yes.
Prior to that time, you had not seen the kids for how long?
For about a year and a half or 2 years.
Why was that?
Because their mother moved them to Denver, and she cut off contact with, this side of the family.
Did you know Sean and Alex had come over each summer?
Usually, no. No, I wasn't aware of that.
After the date of July 2nd, 2016, were you contacted by Department of Human Services about taking emergency custody of Sean and Alex?
Yes, DHS just showed up at my house 5 o'clock in the morning the day after these things happened. And I did the emergency guardianship right away, then temporary, and then full.
Were you happy to see those children?
Oh, yes, I was very happy.
Would you have been happy to see them in the couple of years preceding July 2nd, 2016 as well?
I'd been thrilled, yeah.
Did you often agree to babysit just so you could see the kids?
When the kids were younger, when they lived here, I did babysit quite a bit, yeah.
When Sean and Alex came to stay with you at about 5 a.m. the day after Martin died, did Darin Thrailkill, your stepson, live with you at that time?
No.
Where was he living?
They had a trailer across town.
Did you believe Darin was living in Grand Junction at that time?
Yes.
After the children were placed with you, did you petition for guardianship?
Yes, I did.
Did that include for Sean?
Yes, for Sean and for Alex.
And for Alex. One question about that is, were you the petitioning party or was DHS or somebody else?
Me.
Did you file a petition for appointment of guardian for both children?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you note on your petition for guardianship who the biological parents of those children were?
Yes, ma'am.
Did that include Chantel? Yes.
Yes.
And did that include your stepson, Darin Thrailkill?
Yes.
In your petition for guardianship, did you indicate that neither home was safe?
At that time, yes.
And were you referring to Chantel's home?
Yes.
And were you referring to your stepson, Darin Thrailkill's home?
Yes, because I had no idea what had happened. So,
As a result of you filing a petition for guardianship, you said that you did that. DHS did not, correct?
No.
Did DHS instruct you to do that?
no.
Did the police instruct you to do that?
There was suggestions from DHS and from, the officers, but they didn't push the issue. They said that it was something that I could do because, I had no idea. I'd never gone through anything like this before. So
When you filed the petition for guardianship, did Mr. Thrailkill, your stepson, Darin Thrailkill, consent?
yes.
May I approach, Judge?
Yes, you may.
And I provided counsel copies, People's Exhibit 815 and 816.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Thrailkill, I'm showing you what has been marked as People's Exhibit 815. Have I shown this to you prior to coming into court today?
Yes.
Is this the petition you filed for guardianship? This one involves Sean.
Yes.
Did you file the exact same thing for Alex as well?
Yes.
Is this a fair and accurate copy of your petition indicating who the biological parents were?
Yes.
Is this a certified copy?
I believe so. Yeah.
People would move for admission of People's Exhibit 815.
Ms. Marisich?
The defense objects. I can approach for argument.
Okay. All right, sure. Feel free to stretch.
All right, let's bring in out of Santa Fe, New Mexico, criminal defense attorney John Day to talk a little bit about this case. This witness here, John, really just to set the reality for the jury of, what happens after something like this. And you've got the custody. She took custody. She wasn't there, didn't have a ton of insight in terms of this case specifically. What about this case, this defense where you have basically the medical conditions that this young man suffered from, that's the cause of his death, not the actions of the defendant. Is there some there?
Well, Ted, thanks for having me. So what the prosecution is trying to do is establish that this death did not happen in a vacuum, that there was a history, well, maybe not a history of physical violence toward young Martin, but there was a history of dysfunction within his environment. So that's the groundwork that the prosecution is laying right now with this witness and other witnesses. The defense, as you brought up, the defense has got to hang all its efforts on the idea that this was a death of natural causes, that this young boy had medical conditions that would have led to his death absent, any homicide. So the defense, it's going to be a medical expert heavy defense, because they've got to convince the jury that in spite of the evidence, in spite of testimony from medical examiners that this was strangulation, that in fact it wasn't, that it was natural causes, that it was a tragedy, but it wasn't a homicide.
And the issues of the young man, his physical issues, the prosecution is leaning into that, saying, oh, that's a contributing factor. This guy was frustrated. He was in over his head, and to your point, sort of had chaos following him. So the establishment of the boy's problems, can help the state, can they not, in terms of the laying into that frustration from angry defendant?
Right. The building blocks that the prosecution is putting together is that the child may have had some issues especially regarding, things like accidents. He was wearing pull-up pants about age 6, age 7 still. And they want to paint a picture of a defendant who was so frustrated and had no other ways of dealing with his frustration other than to harm the little boy. And they're going to use the issues that came up in terms of the reaction of the defendant when he was notified at the scene, for example, about the child's condition, about going to the hospital, about the child being dead. Witnesses, law enforcement, nurses, people like that are going to testify or have testified that his reaction was highly unusual. I mean, most people in the jury are going to relate this to their personal lives. And if you are on a juror and you've heard of a tragedy, of a death of your family member or a close friend, you're going to have a reaction that's human. And the prosecution wants to establish that the defendant's reaction was so bizarre, was so cold, was so uninterested in what was going on, that in itself establishes that this thing must have been a homicide in the eyes of the prosecution.
Yeah, especially because the jury's finding out that there's a dead 6-year-old. I'm sure they each had a reaction just to this news of serving on this jury and hearing that a 6-year-old's dead, and then to find out that the defendant didn't flinch is going to be a huge part of the state's case. And we've already heard that from the prosecution laying it out in the openings. It's part of their case. Let's get a break. When we come back, we'll have more of the defendant Darin Thrailkill's stepmother on the stand. Stay with us.
Mama tried. Now my daddy's crying because I'm in here.
You are the common denominator that led to JD and Big Doug shooting each other in the dark of night.
All right, help party, I'm dying.
Don't you have the blood of both these men on your hands?
I feel guilty for that.
You felt guilty because, frankly, you were guilty.
Interview with a Killer. New episode Saturday night at 8 Eastern and Pacific. Only on Court TV.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. Testimony resumes in the father figure murder trial in a couple hours out in Colorado for Darin Thrailkill. He's accused of killing the 6-year-old son of his girlfriend. Prosecutors believe the Thrailkill reached a breaking point after the child had a bathroom accident. His defense is saying no, this was pneumonia, asthma. That's what caused the boy to die. Medical examiner didn't agree. We're listening to testimony that hasn't aired yet as we await for live testimony to resume. And we're listening to the defendant's stepmom, who has a window into this defendant. Let's go back and pick it up. She's on direct from the state.
The defendant's objection to Exhibit 815 is sustained.
And Ms. Freeman, I can't remember. Do you mind if I show you this document? I can't remember if I already showed this to you. People's Exhibit 816, which has been noted for identification. Was this your stepson, Darin Thrailkill's notarized statement, which is a certified record consenting to your petition for guardianship?
I believe so. I haven't seen it for a long time, but yep.
I showed this to you before coming into court, correct? And this was the defendant's consent to the guardianship based on your allegations? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. No, I'm sorry.
Move for admission of People's Exhibit 816.
Ms. Marasich,
Just noting my prior objection, Your Honor.
the objection's overruled. Exhibit 816 is admitted.
Ms. Freeman, in terms of your petition for guardianship, that was a pretty big deal for you, correct?
Yes.
Were you a single mother at that time?
Yes.
Were you raising other children?
No.
Did you have other children living at the home?
Yes.
In terms of the guardianship, separate from what I've shown you, did Mr. Thrailkill, your stepson, Darin Thrailkill, actually participate in some of those hearings?
He did.
So separate from consenting, he also testified in a couple of those hearings, correct?
Correct.
When he was testifying in court on that, did he agree his home was not safe at that time?
He said that he was not able to care for his children at that time.
Separate and apart from testifying concerning that fact, at the September 9th, 2016 guardianship hearing, did he testify about what was going on in the home that made him concerned?
Not that I remember.
Did he tell the court, I'm going through things in my life that I cannot personally take my children?
Yes, he did say that.
Did he say, I recently had a stepson of mine pass away?
Yes.
He was 6 years old.
Yes.
He died in my home.
I don't remember that. No.
Did he testify that Sean was exhibiting extreme behaviors from violent tantrums to all out just violence?
I don't remember that.
Would looking at that transcript be helpful to you?
No, we looked at it before we came in, and I don't remember him saying that.
Do you recall the defendant indicating that there is a question that needs to be answered about the relationship between my son and my stepson and what had happened?
I'm sorry, I don't remember that.
Did the defendant testify that the violent tendencies that you were speaking about in court have already happened?
I don't remember that.
Did he tell the court that based on that, he was concerned?
That based on that, he was concerned? I mean, we were both concerned about stuff, but I don't remember, the other stuff that you had asked about.
Did he talk about Sean's violent tendencies in that hearing?
Not that I remember.
It looks like the petition you filed, I indicated, was on July 14th, 2016. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact date.
Would looking at that be helpful to give you the date?
Sure.
The approach with Exhibit 15.
Yes, you may, and you have continuing permission with this witness. Thanks.
Ms. Freeman, this is the copy of your petition where you made the allegations about the unsafe homes.
Mm-hmm.
Does it show the date that you filed that with the court?
Yes, ma'am.
And what date was that?
July 14th, 2016.
And on the very date you filed that, was that the same date that your stepson consented?
Yes.
July 14th?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. From the date the children arrived at your home, July 3rd, 2016, to July 14th, 2016, did they live in your home during that period of time?
Yes.
Following the July 14th, 2016 petition for guardianship, did the children continue residing with you?
Yes.
Did the court grant you guardianship?
Yes.
Did that happen over the course of the couple months after you were granted the emergency guardianship near in time to July 14th?
It was emergency, then it was temporary, then it was full guardianship. Yes, ma'am, and it took several months.
And did your stepson, Darin Thrailkill, participate in those proceedings along the way?
I'm trying to remember if he was at all of them.
Was he at a few of them?
Yeah.
Okay. After you were granted first custody on July 3rd and then guardianship, how often did your stepson, Darin Thrailkill, see the kids?
All right, let's get a break. When we come back, we'll have more of this unaired testimony as we look forward to live testimony in about an hour and a half out of the state of Colorado. Stay with us. We'll get you back to more of the unaired testimony in the father figure murder trial in just a minute. But in case you missed it, a jury returned with a verdict in the murder trial for Latasha Daniels.
State of Tennessee versus Latasha Daniels, indictment number 25-01253. Verdict form count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of second-degree murder as included in count 1 of indictment number 25-01253.
Jury deliberated for close to 2.5 hours, not too long, before convicting Daniels on second-degree murder. Daniels stood trial for shooting and killing Pastor Brodus Perry. She was also found guilty of criminal attempt to commit reckless endangerment for shooting Perry's wife, Tabitha. She survived. Sentencing set for December 17th. Back to Colorado. Court resumes in the father figure murder trial later this morning for defendant Darin Thrailkill. Thrailkill is accused of killing the 6-year-old son of his girlfriend. Prosecutors believe Thrailkill reached a breaking point after the child had a bathroom accident. That is infuriating, if true. And a jury is not going to like this guy if they believe the state's assertion. That's what happened in the Adam Montgomery case. Remember that? Harmony Montgomery had accidents, and that threw him over the top. Testimony so far, we haven't aired this part of it. This is the defendant's stepmom. She was under direct from the state, giving a window into the defendant's world.
After you were granted first custody on July 3rd and then guardianship, how often did your stepson Darin Thrailkill see the kids?
I believe he saw the kids just a couple times, and it wasn't for very long. It was just for a very short period.
Do you remember times after you were granted guardianship that the kids would have gone up to Delta to their grandpa's property with your stepson?
They did. Well, not necessarily with my stepson. They went with his father.
Okay, sorry. So let's clarify.
A weekend or, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So while you had the kids, what did they call their grandpa?
Grandpa.
Okay.
Yeah,
And is that Darin Thrailkill Sr.?
correct.
What did you call him?
I just called him Darin.
Okay. So as I ask you questions, I'm going to refer to him as grandpa, if that's okay, so we're not talking about two Darins.
Right.
While you had custody first and then guardianship of the kids, did Alex and Sean go with their grandpa, Darin Thrailkill, up to the Delta area sometimes to hang out with him?
They may have gone for like a weekend, like I said, and then we're back.
Were you aware that your stepson, Darin Thrailkill, was there?
No, I didn't ask a lot of questions of their visiting.
In terms of the contact your stepson, Darin Thrailkill, had with the kids after you were granted custody, you were pretty strict with how that was going to happen. Is that fair to say?
I was strict for either parent.
For Chantel as well.
Yeah. I don't know if it was strict. I was just, careful.
How many times do you remember your stepson, Darin Thrailkill, personally being with the kids after you were granted custody?
At my home, like I say, just a couple times, like 2 or 3 times, possibly, but like say for a very short time.
And would you be present when that happened?
Yeah.
Why were you trying to be present when that happened?
Well, I wasn't necessarily trying to be. I mean, he was just visiting with the family,
So on the couple of times that your stepson, Darin Thrailkill, came to your home after July 3rd when you received emergency custody, you think he visited with them 2 to 3 times? Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, we just record.
No, I know. I'm
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
At your home, at least, was the defendant ever alone with the kids?
I don't believe so.
In terms of your observations of when your stepson, Darin Thrailkill, interacted with Sean or Alex after July 3rd of 2016, when is the last time you remember their father seeing them?
I don't think after the end of that summer that they actually saw their dad.
So if this happened July 2nd, it sounds like they probably would have gone back to school in August.
Yeah.
When would you consider the last time was? You said at the end of the summer that the children did not see him again. When would that have been relative to the school year, maybe?
Well, it was before school started, so I guess just within that month or maybe month and a half, that I had him.
So maybe July 2016 to mid-August 2016 is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes.
What happened then?
There just was no contact. It was just,
Where did Darin go?
I honestly have no idea.
You had his son, Sean. Yes?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
And you had his daughter, Alex.
Yes.
And he took off and you did not know where he went.
I did not know where he went.
As far as you know, during the periods of time that you were present when Darin, your stepson, was visiting with the kids, did he ever tell them he was leaving?
No.
He never told his kids he was leaving?
No.
Who was stuck trying to explain that to his kids?
I was. But they understood of what he was going through with the situation. And they accepted it, as best they could.
You say as best they could. What did that look like from your point of view when they accepted it as best they could?
Well, they were 6 and 8. They were taken away from both parents, not just Darin. And it's been very difficult. It's been a very difficult last 10 years.
Have you provided them for them in full?
Oh, yes. I've done the best I can. Yeah.
Wasn't something you knew was going to happen, that you would take custody of 2 little kids, correct?
No, I had no idea.
Did your stepson, Darin Thrailkill, ever provide financial support to you while you took care of his kids?
When he could, yes. He paid support when he could.
Was that to you or was that to someone else?
No, it's to Family Support Registry.
So it sounds like at some point he was ordered to try to pay some support.
Well, I think they both were. They were
Chantel as well.
ordered. Yes.
How often did Darin pay to help support the kids?
When he was working, he paid what he could. It wasn't always the amount, and that was for both parents. It wasn't always the amount that they were supposed to pay, but a little bit came in here and there. Yep.
You said that some support came in. It did not come from Darin Thrailkill, your stepson, to you.
No.
During this entire period of time, did you ever know where he was?
I didn't.
Did he ever call you?
No.
Did he ever call his children?
There was one time that there was a phone conversation, not a very long one. Both kids talked to him, just, how are you doing in school? How are you doing, and very general. And he told them how much he loved them and, that was the end of that.
John Day is still with us. This witness, John, seems to be trying her best to help the defendant because she's sugarcoating some stuff. But, I mean, this guy is despicable. And if she had a different tone, it would go a long way. What's your take on her? You know, she's a saint for taking these kids and enduring all this. What's your take on her testimony? Who it helps?
Well, it helps the prosecution because the jury is going to see that, this woman, while being a family member, she's trying to tell the truth. I think they're going to see that. But at the same time, the prosecution has to paint a picture, because this is essentially a circumstantial evidence case. Prosecution has to paint a picture of a guy who is as a dysfunctional father figure, as someone who is capable of murder, as they're going to argue in closing, and that his role as a father figure is flawed. He's got, he's not the best father figure around. Of course, the defense is painting this as a medical issue. They're going to try to minimize all that. Prosecution is using this witness to build a case with the jury that the defendant was not anywhere near a saint. He was not a good father. He was not present. He was not participating. And in the eyes of the jury, the prosecution wants the jury to be thinking he is certainly going to be capable of doing what we say he did, which was strangle Martin in his bed.
Yeah. And our branding on this one is the father figure murder trial. It should be the non-father figure murder trial, given the testimony that we've been listening to. John, thank you as always. More unentered testimony from the case against Darin Thrailkill. And later, court resumes in the love triangle beheading trial for this lady, the former porn star, Devin Michaels.
Who are you married to?
I'm married to Debbie.
His son?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So Debbie, his son, and you are now married. How long have you been there?
Almost 2 years.
A former porn actor caught in a deadly father-son love triangle.
I'm not going to stop fighting to prove my innocence.
The Love Triangle beheading trial. Live coverage today on Court TV.
I felt very bad.
Don't you have the blood on your hands?
I felt guilty for that.
You felt guilty because, frankly, you were guilty.
Interview with a Killer. New episode Saturday night at 8 Eastern and Pacific. Only on Court TV.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. We're in Colorado for this case that we've been watching. A non-father figure is on trial for the death of a little 6-year-old boy. The state says it's because he, father figure guy, Thrailkill, was so frustrated by this 6-year-old boy named Martin because he would have accidents. It's been a decades since the boy died, and now here we are at trial. The defense here is that, the boy died because he had medical issues. We're watching testimony from the defendant's stepmom. Let's go back in and pick it up where we left off.
And it sounds like, based on what you've testified to, that's not a discussion you had with your stepson. It's what you surmised from the situation.
Yes, and like I say, he helped with when I was doing the guardianship stuff. He entrusted me with his kids, and I just said I would do the best that I could. It wasn't for me to, to judge or to try and get too involved at that point.
The one limited call that happened after the end of the summer of 2016 till whenever this call happened, when would that one call have occurred?
I can't remember exactly. It was probably 5 years after. I mean, Alex was in middle school. Sean was just finishing middle school. So, it had been a while.
Do you recall meeting with me and some of my colleagues here in the district attorney's office on November 4th of 2024?
Yes.
Do you recall Did you state that phone call occurred approximately 1.5 to 2 years before our meeting on November 4th, 2024?
Yes, approximately.
That sounds about right. During the one limited call that your stepson Darin Thrailkill had with the kids, did the defendant tell Sean he would never blame him for anything?
I honestly don't know because I didn't stay in the room for the entirety of their calls. They were on speaker, but I did not hear the entirety of either his conversation with Sean or his conversation with Alex.
Did the defendant ever tell him none of this was your fault?
I don't know.
Do you recall meeting with our office on January 16 of 2025?
Yes.
You've had a few meetings with us over the last couple of years.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall on the date, and I know the dates, you may not remember the dates you met with us, on January 16th of 2025, did you state Darin talked to Sean, he told Sean he would never blame him for anything, and that was none of Sean's fault?
I'm sorry, I don't remember. It's possible.
In taking over being a parent for these kids and after Martin passed away, do you feel like you've been a pretty good neutral role for these kids with all things that you've talked about?
I've definitely tried to be. Yes, ma'am.
Do you think you've been a good advocate for the kids?
Oh, yes.
During the period of time when you had custody or guardianship of the children, at times did the police department ask Sean to come down for additional interviews?
Yes, we didn't necessarily have to go to the police department. The last ones, they met him kind of on neutral ground, but yes.
You're referring to the last one being at the coffee shop?
Yes.
Have you ever told Sean he has to go talk to somebody?
No, it's been his choice. I've given him the option, how he felt if he wanted to speak to him or if he didn't.
Prior to coming to trial, this trial that we're having now, did you give both children the opportunity to meet with the district attorney's office?
I did.
And did that happen?
Yes.
Did you give both children the opportunity to meet with the defense team?
Yes.
Did that happen?
Yes.
Had the children ever expressed they didn't want to meet? Is that what you would have honored?
They were never real happy about it by any means, but they've always complied.
All right, we're going to slip in a commercial break. We'll have more unaired testimony out of the state of Colorado when we return. You're watching Court TV, your front row seat to justice. Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Ted Rollins in for Julie Grant on this Monday morning. Glad you have you along with us. We're focusing this hour in the state of Colorado, and we're playing some unaired testimony from the case against Darin Thrailkill, this guy here. He is accused of killing his girlfriend's 6-year-old little boy named Martin nearly a decade ago. The state says that he was so upset that Martin, who had some physical issues, was having accidents, and he just couldn't handle it, and he strangled the boy to death. The defense is that the boy's problems, Martin's health conditions, that was the cause of death. So we're going back listening to some testimonies we prepare for live court in about an hour from now, one of the many cases that are going to get up and running momentarily here at Court TV, and we're watching them all. But let's listen to some more of this defendant's stepmom. Here's the rest of her direct testimony.
The jury has watched an interview with Sean from July of 2016 where Detective Prescott left the room for some period of time, and Sean talked to you about the embarrassment of talking about some things he didn't want to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Vaguely, it's been a long time, but yes.
Did you encourage him to tell the officer what he saw?
The only thing I've ever encouraged my grandchildren with, as far as when they're talking, to the police or detectives, whoever it's been, is just to tell the truth and only speak about what they saw with their own eyes and what they heard with their own ears, not what anybody else has told them or that they've heard. I have always told them that. I mean, my grandson was 8 and my granddaughter was 6 when this happened. So that's all I could encourage them to do up until the last time Sean met with detectives.
So that was the message you gave the kids?
Yes.
It's up to them?
Yes.
Tell what you saw?
Yeah. Just what you saw and what you heard. Yes.
At some point in time, did you become aware of a text that Darin supposedly made to his father blaming Sean for killing Martin?
I did. I was told by one of the detectives.
Did you talk to Darin about that, your stepson?
I think that I did when he called. I think that time when he called and spoke to Sean, I did. I asked him about that.
And did he tell you those were Crystal's texts?
Yes.
Are you certain of that?
Yes.
Is that the same information you shared with members from the district attorney's office on January 16th, 2025 as well?
I honestly can't remember when that was, but that's very possible that I did.
At some point in time, did your stepson, Darin Thrailkill's father, die?
Yes, he did.
Is that the individual you were married to?
Yes, it is.
What years were you married to his father?
Oh, heck. We were together for 11 years. We were married for 9.
When did Darin Thrailkill Sr. pass away?
He passed away in May of, geez, I'm sorry, I got too much stuff in my mind. 3 years ago in May.
2022 sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Did your stepson, Darin Thrailkill, come home for his father's funeral?
He did not.
Were you there?
Yes, I was.
Were the children there?
Yes, they were.
One of my questions is, as you have raised Sean, has he had sleeping issues or nightmares since this happened?
Both of the children have. I don't think it's just involved with this. I think it's involved with the trauma that they sustained in their mother's house also.
Okay. But you remember Sean having nightmares?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
After you acquired guardianship of your children, do you recall being contacted around October of 2017 by a detective by the name of Rob Heil from Grand Junction Police Department?
Yes, I've been contacted by several different detectives, and I can't tell you the date
over the years, would it be fair to say detectives were continuing to look for your stepson?
I have no idea. They would call me and they would say, have you had, any contact with him? And I hadn't. And they asked if I knew where he was, and I did not.
So they were seeking out information on where he went?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had no information to provide them?
I had no information.
I could have just a minute, Judge.
May, thanks.
I don't have any further questions at this time. Thank you, Ms. Freeman.
Thank you.
Examination.
All right, there's the nice stepmom who really is a saint, doing her best to be light with the defendant, but at the end of the day, jurors are disgusted because she's outlining the deadbeat nature of the defendant, who was accused of getting frustrated with a young man, a 6-year-old little boy named Martin, and killing him after he had multiple accidents. An ongoing issue. Law enforcement expert Sonny Slaughter's here. Sonny, this is one of those, like the Adam Montgomery case, it just makes your skin crawl, because if any bit of the state's allegations are true, it is just disgusting on every level. What are your overall thoughts of this one?
Good morning, Ted. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be with you talking about this particular case because it's heinous. Little children will have accidents. They will not cooperate. They will be kids. And the fact that this child suffered before death and other children had to witness it is just heinous. I don't know what parents are thinking when they have children, and children are a lot. I have 4, I already know. They are a lot. Mm-hmm. But the violence and the repercussions of parental actions and those that sometimes stand by and do nothing is just in and of itself horrendous. And this poor baby who, he was just 6. Yeah. And I'm sure he was just doing what 6-year-olds do.
Yeah, and his sweet little smile in these photos, it breaks your heart to think that the person that is supposed to be the father figure, is supposed to be the protector, is the one that, according to the state, took his life at such a young age. And as parents, your life does change. When you have kids, it is a game changer, like you say. They're a lot. But you mature, and this guy, if the allegations are true and what his stepmom was sort of detailing in her testimony, he was a self-absorbed kid himself and not stepping up on any level. I mean, you don't have to be dad of the year, but the fact that he may have murdered a 6-year-old because of frustration is disgusting.
Yes. Parents are by birth, situation, or circumstance. She has now become his stepmother, the alleged defendant's stepmother, is now the parent to the 2 children who have survived. But it is unconscionable to think that this little boy suffered, and now the alleged defendant could be lying about this suffering, and he did nothing. But more importantly, he murdered him for something so innocent, something that should have been able to course correct without the violence. And no parent is an absolute perfect parent. We all have our flaws. We can get frustrated, but to take it out on an innocent child in the way that this was done, that leads to the death, murder, is just as heinous as it was for our little Davy, little Miss Montgomery. These situations cannot continue to happen.
No, that was a horrible case. And this is the same type. Yeah. It's the same thing. You replace Harmony with little Martin, and you have the same allegations here, and that is a monster at the defense table. Let's get a break. When we come back, what is the defense going to do with this sweet stepmother who stepped in and actually took care of kids when needed? How do they handle her? She comes across as very honest and kind. We'll see what they do. Stay with us.
Sunday nights on Court TV. Join us for a night of food, friends, and our favorite legal dramas. It's Order in the Court. And this week,
I'm Dr. Jason Bull. I study a jury's behavioral patterns. Not guilty, thank you. The verdict you get depends on me. You don't get a name like Bull because you give up before the game is over.
we're binge watching Bull. Sunday starting at 6, 5 Central on Court TV.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. Here's a look at a few of the cases we're following today on this Monday morning on Court TV. In Nevada, testimony resumes at noon Eastern in the love triangle beheading trial. The defendant here, Devin Michaels, the former porn star accused of beheading her ex-boyfriend, Jonathan Willett, in a bizarre love triangle. She's married to the victim's son, Devier, from a previous marriage. Oh, that case. In California, Frazier Michael Baum, back in court next hour. He's accused of murder and vehicular manslaughter after crashing into 4 sorority girls who went to Pepperdine University, represented by Alan Jackson. In Colorado, the state's case resumes in the father figure murder trial for Darin Thrailkill, and that's where we're beginning this hour. We're listening to some of the unaired testimony of Thrailkill. He's accused of killing his girlfriend's 6-year-old little boy named Martin. And on the stand is the defendant's stepmother. This is a woman that at one point took care of the defendant, and then she stepped in and took care of his kids after she was called upon by Child Protective Services. She's on cross-examination. Let's see how the defense handles her.
Okay, Ms. Freeman, I want to start by talking about the observations that you've made with Mr. Darin Thrailkill and the various kids.
Okay.
So leading up to July 2nd, 2016, you said that you had seen Martin a few different times, right?
Yes.
I think you said earlier maybe 5 or 6 times. Is that right?
Yes.
Of those 5, 6 times, was Mr. Darin Thrailkill also there?
Every time, yes.
And what was your observation of Mr. Thrailkill interacting with Martin on those occasions?
He was being a father to that little boy. He had patience with him. The young man had severe autism. And Darin was very gentle and loving with him, and he could reach him. I would not have the patience. I mean, it took something, to be able to take care of that little boy.
Yeah. So it sounds like Mr. Thrailkill was loving towards Martin.
Yes.
Sounds like Mr. Thrailkill was patient with Martin. Did you see Mr. Thrailkill be abusive towards Martin?
No.
Did you see Mr. Thrailkill be really harsh with Martin?
No.
Now, of those 5 or 6 occasions, was Miss Crystal Osinski also there?
I would say like maybe the first time, but we had some issues and she was not invited back to my home.
Okay. So you don't have much observations between Miss Osinski and Martin, it sounds like.
No.
Of the observations that you do have, can you describe how she was with him?
She was offish. She was not motherly, towards him. Okay. She was more worried about, her phone and what she was doing than taking care of her son.
Okay. And you kind of referenced to it. Sounds like there was some clashing between Crystal Osinski and you and your family.
Yes, the whole family.
The whole family, yeah. That was an ongoing problem, right?
It was.
a problem that began when Miss Osinski first came into Mr. Thrailkill's life, right?
Yes.
That was way back in 2012 or so?
Yes.
And
I don't know the exact year. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. But when they first got together.
Well, it wasn't a problem at first because, we had to be around her a little bit, but the way things went, it just didn't go well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a new conflict in July of 2016.
No.
So you talked about seeing Mr. Thrailkill interact with Martin. Did you have the opportunity to see him interact with Sean before July 2nd, 2016?
Yes.
And how was he with his son, Sean?
Well, when he was young, when they were all here, I was in a lot of contact with the family, and he was always good with both of the kids.
Would you say that he loved Sean?
Oh, yes.
Would you say that he loved Alex?
Yes.
And how was he as a parent to them in those interactions you observed?
He was attentive. He was loving. He was, if they needed it, they got scolded a little bit, but, he was a very, upfront kind of parent.
Okay.
So.
Now, you said that after July 2nd, 2016, the kids started to live with you, right?
Yes.
And that started with DHS kind of showing up at your door.
Correct.
I think you said 5 in the morning.
5 in the morning, yes.
The day right after.
Yes.
The kids came to you from the police department, right?
Yes, or from, I don't know if it was exactly at the police department. There was another place that, that they went to question that, makes the kids more comfortable. And
okay. But the kids came from the custody of the police or DHS, an agency.
Correct.
Directly to you.
Correct. Yes.
It wasn't that Mr. Thrailkill brought them over to your home.
No.
To the best of your knowledge, he didn't have any contact with the kids between the time that Martin died and when DHS came the afternoon of the July 3rd.
As far as I know, but I'm not sure about that. I know he told them that I was like the emergency, kind of contact and said to bring them to me.
Okay. So. When you say he told them, Mr. Thrailkill gave DHS your information.
Correct. Yes.
As a possible safe place for his little kids.
Correct.
And then they were brought to you shortly thereafter.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, we've talked a bit about the guardianship situation, so I want to talk to you a little more about that. Okay. There were multiple hearings over the course of the summer of 2016, right?
Correct.
And kind of the issue at these hearings were whether Sean and Alex were safe, right?
Correct.
And where it would be in their best interest to be going forward.
Correct.
Now, in these hearings, both of their biological parents were involved,
Correct.
Right? Because the court had to determine where they're going to go going forward.
Yes.
Now, we had Miss Chantal Thrailkill involved, right?
Correct.
And she wanted to take custody of the kids.
Yes, because she had, before that, she had custody. Darin saw them for visitation, but she had the main custody.
And she wanted the kids to come back into her care.
Correct.
And she kind of worked through that whole court process to try to achieve that goal, right?
Correct.
But over the course of these court proceedings, the kids just weren't safe with her, right?
Exactly.
It wasn't in the best interest of the kids because of that to be with her.
Correct.
Now, she didn't come forward and say, court, I'm currently unfit to be a parent, right?
No.
she kind of fought tooth and nail through
Yes.
the process.
Yes.
So in contrast to their mother, I want to talk about how Mr. Thrailkill was through these hearings.
Okay.
He acknowledged that he did not currently have a safe place for Sean and Alex.
Correct.
He recognized that he wasn't what was their best interest at that moment.
Yes.
He supported you being there for the kids, right?
Correct.
He supported the kids going to you over their mother.
Absolutely.
Because he also was concerned about their safety and her care.
Yes.
And then he acknowledged his own limitations at that time.
Yes.
Now, at one of these various hearings, Mr. Thrailkill was testifying, right?
Yes.
Is that right? Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
And he explicitly said that their children need to be put first.
Yes.
Meaning Sean and Alex need to be put first.
Yes.
They need to be looked after, is what he said.
Yes.
Right? They need to have correct parenting.
Yes.
And so he consented that you were their best choice at that time.
Yes.
So the kids got to stay where they settled with you. Right?
Yes.
Now, before they came to you, there was more instability in their housing. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Since they came into your care, I think you said you've only lived at 2 different addresses.
Yeah. We were at one just for a few months, and I've been at the same address for a long time. So the kids have never moved.
Okay. And the kids are still in your care? I guess Sean's 18.
Yeah, Sean just turned 18, and but he's still at home. And Alex is 16, so yes.
Okay. And Alex, again, she's still local here, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Quick break. We'll get you back into the courtroom for more. Boy, she's really sympathetic to the defendant. Stay with us. Back after this. Let's head back to Colorado now. We're watching the father figure murder trial for Darin Thrailkill. They'll be back at it live in about an hour-ish, and we'll monitor that. He is accused of killing a 6-year-old, his girlfriend's son. And the state says he reached a breaking point after the child had a bathroom accident. But the defense says there's a combination of issues with the boy Martin's health. Asthma and pneumonia, and that is the cause of death. That's what they're contending here. On the stand is the defendant's stepmom, and she sure does try her best, being honest, on the stand, but she seems to be leaning really towards this defendant, trying to make him out to be a much better person than the state has portrayed him to be. Let's go back up and pick up the rest of the cross-examination of stepmom.
After the kids were transitioned into your care beginning July 3rd, 2016, okay, you said that Mr. Thrailkill had some limited contact with them.
Yes, he would call and he would come by just for a few minutes. But, there wasn't talk of where he was living or anything else. He just wanted to know, about the kids and if they were okay. And he would stay for a few minutes, visit with the family, and yeah.
So he would do kind of these check-ins, but ultimately kept the parenting responsibility with you, right?
Yes.
Kept that best interest being with grandma, and the stability you provided, right?
Yes.
You mentioned that there was some like child support payments. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now that money didn't come directly to your mailbox, right?
No.
That's just not how it works,
No.
right?
No.
The money is supposed to be paid by the parent to an agency, right?
Correct. Yes.
And then that agency disperses the funds to you.
Correct. And they petition the parents for, whatever they think is right. And I don't have a lot of say in any of it. So
Sure. But there's not a court order saying that Mr. Thrailkill had to mail you envelopes of cash, right?
No.
But he did make payments through this family agency.
Yes, he did.
And that was between that 2016 and 2023 timeframe.
Yes.
He made more than one payment, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You said you didn't remember exactly how many, right?
No, I'm sorry. I don't.
That's okay. But he did make pretty consistent payments over that time frame.
Yes.
And that's the money that's used to help support his kids.
Absolutely.
Paying for all kinds of things in Sean and Alex's life, right?
Yes.
And you would use that money on those kids.
Exactly.
Now, we talked about kind of how Crystal Osinski and the Thrailkill family kind of had conflict, right?
Yes.
Mr. Darin Thrailkill also had some conflict with the family at times, right?
Yes. Yes.
There was a period of time where he was no contact with his own dad, right?
Right.
There's a whole history that I don't want to ask any specifics about, but it's not a storybook relationship.
Correct.
Now, you said that the police reached out to you trying to find where Darin was at. Is that right?
Correct. Yep.
And that was a detective, Heil, right?
There has been several different detectives that have contacted me.
Okay.
So I can't say like how many times it was him. There was a female detective that was contacting me part of the time, and but it was basically for the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of just trying to get an update if you knew where he was, right?
Yes. If we had had any contact, and yes, if we knew where he was.
And you were honest with them, right?
Yes.
That you didn't have any personal knowledge of what that was, right?
No.
You weren't trying to hide Mr. Thrailkill from the police.
No, I had no idea where he was. And at that time, like I say, I didn't want to know. I didn't want to cause any more problems for my grandkids or anything. And so, yeah. I didn't want to know.
Now you love Sean, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
You love Alex. You love Darin.
Yes.
Does anything about any of those relationships change your answers on how you're testifying here today?
No.
All right, that's the end of the cross-examination of this witness, and it is clear she does love the defendant and has done her best to paint a picture that is completely different than the state's picture of him being a diabolical father figure that is responsible for murder. All right, let's go back in and pick up the redirect, see what the prosecution does.
Ms. Freeman, when defense counsel asked you about Darin, your stepson's relationship with Alex and Sean, just to give proper context, you hadn't even been around the kids for 1.5 to 2 years. Is that the right time frame?
Correct.
So any assessments you would have seen about your stepson interacting with Alex and Sean was long ago.
It was when they were younger, yeah, because I was involved with the family all the time, so.
Did you ever go in the trailer where they lived?
Where Darin lived?
Correct, sorry.
No. Well, I had been in it before because it belonged to his aunt before. That's where, he had purchased it. And so I had been into it, once before, but not when he lived there.
So when Darin and Crystal lived there 2012 to 2016, you were never invited in their home?
I wouldn't have gone in their home. I did not get along with Crystal.
Well, Crystal worked for a living, right?
I have no idea.
In 2016, Darin wasn't working, correct?
I have no idea.
So in terms of their relationship, you didn't know those dynamics in the home?
I didn't ask a lot of questions.
Okay. Did you know anything about their financial situation?
No.
Did you know who was the breadwinner?
No.
Did you know anything about Darin's medical condition?
At that time, no.
If you were never in their home, did you ever see Darin, your stepson, interact with the kids inside his home?
With all of the kids?
Any of the kids.
When I saw him with Martin, it was like at family things or, coming over. It wasn't in the home.
Right. Lots of people around, right?
Yeah. Not necessarily. Some of it was at my house, outside or, sometimes there was people around for family things, yeah.
So the observations you shared with the jury about your stepson's interactions with Martin or the other kids, none of those are observations within your stepson's home?
No.
Do you have any idea of how Darin Thrailkill, your stepson, disciplined children inside his home?
No.
Do you have any idea how Darin Thrailkill would have reacted to Martin having poop accidents inside their home?
Inside their home, no. When they were out and I would see them, I saw him taking care of Martin when he had accidents. I saw him, taking care of him when he would have tantrums and hit his head on the floor. I saw those things and how he reacted to him very calmly. And, he took care of him so he didn't hurt himself. In their home, no.
Did you ever see your stepson, Darin, beat Martin's ass red?
No.
If the defendant made that statement, would you believe it?
No.
In terms of how Darin Thrailkill interacted with his children, you said he was patient, kind, and loving, correct?
Yes.
Was the Darin Thrailkill stepson, foul-mouthed?
At times, yeah.
Did you ever hear him call his children Sean and Alex? That's something.
Okay, that little bit was, she said, did you, because I'm sure it was blocked out because it was a profanity. The question was, did you ever hear him call the kids, the defendant called the kids, compulsive liars? And she said, no. Sunny Slaughter's with us. This witness trying her best to rehabilitate what the prosecution says is a monster over at the defense table. How do you think it's coming across?
Like a mom who does not want to believe that her son is anything but like a good little boy, even though he's a grown man. So basically what I've gotten from this testimony and what the public has seen is that she is a mother with a very biased lens. She had no direct contact with the children for a year and a half, and she never saw him interact in home. You know, how we act in public with the children and how he acted in private with the children are absolutely two different things. She didn't seem to have a relationship. She did not like the mother, so she could easily conjure up that the mother did not care, while the father out in public and during events wanted to seem like he was the man in control. He had, this was his family, and he addressed the things that he felt like he needed to address. Not necessarily unusual, but clearly the mother is exhibiting biased behavior and in her lens, even though she did not have any contact with them closer towards this incident. Not to say that she's a bad person. She's just being a mom in her own way and thinking that she's protecting her son.
Yeah, no, absolutely. She's not a bad person at all. She took sides early on between the families, and she supports him. You could feel that, and you wonder, it'd be one thing if she got up there and said, "Oh yeah, the guy's a scoundrel. We all knew it since he was a young boy," and blah blah blah. Still, I think the prosecutor did a great job with her questioning and saying, "Oh, would you ever go to the trailer and see his actions?" No, it was always during these public events, which was great because, to your point, really it's night and day, right? The way you behave at home and in your trailer, allegedly, according to the state, he was a monster.